Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of the Health and Wellness Summit. I am your host, Courtney Miracle, and I have my friend Nicole with me here today. Nicole, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Of course. How's your Monday treating you?
Really good. Getting a
Really good.
lot of work done and meditation done.
Perfect. It's a great way to start the day. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into doing what you do.
Sure. I have a master's in clinical nutrition from Maryland University of Integrative Health. I'm also a certified yoga therapist, went through an accredited program, and accredited by IAYT. Actually, they're based in Durango, Colorado, Inner Peace Yoga Therapy. And my approach, I started in the healthcare field doing physical therapy. And there was benefits to it, but I felt like there was something missing. And I'm really into preventative care and treating the whole person. So getting the yoga certification and the nutrition, I feel like it can approach a preventative healing place in all aspects, body, mind, spirit, and what you're putting in your body, what you're fueling with.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So, what is the difference between yoga therapy and yoga?
Sure. So yoga therapy, you have to get 800 hours on top of the 200.
Okay.
And it more focuses, yoga, like as a yoga teacher, you can go into a class, anybody can come in. Yoga therapy is more focused on a particular goal or disease or pain or heart disease or something like that. It's more similar to physical therapy on that end of it, but yoga, because it takes in the emotional, spiritual account and not just the physical as well.
Nice. That's cool. I did not know that. So as you've done all of these things and transitioned, I know you have a specific, chronic stress and that kind of stuff. So talk to us about, with all of this education and all of the knowledge you have, why is this area you've decided is really the most important?
Well, I find so many areas super interesting, but my specialty is adrenal support for chronic stress. And I think it's very important stress is a natural thing that our body communicates to us, but staying in chronic stress, staying in that sympathetic state and that fight or flight is so detrimental to so many things. And I think it needs to be addressed for our health and for the preventing of chronic disease or recovering from a chronic disease. It's not really addressed in our current healthcare system. And it's just so important. It's important to our gut health, our sleep maintenance, our fatigue. If you feel fatigued, it's it's so important. And I think self-care and self-management tools could be massively beneficial for our overall well-being and health.
Yeah. So how do you define chronic stress, and what are some of the symptoms? So if people are listening and they're like, oh no, that might be me, what do you see as chronic stress?
Well, like I said, stress is a normal reaction of our body, but it should not last that long. So in the first seconds of stress, your epinephrine, norepinephrine are released into your body, and then minutes and hours into it, cortisol, your adrenals, your hypothalamus, and your pituitary come into play. Cortisol is released, and a couple other stress hormones. After a certain amount of time, that should go down. But if we're in that constant state, it's the chronic stress is our cortisol levels are just constantly going, and we're constantly in that fight or flight.
So can you explain to them what cortisol is and why it's so bad to have it in your system all the time?
It's one of our main stress hormones, and it like chronic stress can lead to anxiety and depression. It's detrimental to our cells. It can cause heart disease. It can cause cancer. It decreases our immune system. So all this levels of cortisol are affecting those things, and those things potentially could happen.
So when you have a client come to you and realize they're in chronic stress, and let's back up. Can you explain adrenal fatigue to the viewers and what that looks like and feels like?
So a diagnosed adrenal insufficiency is actually something that can be diagnosed. That's like Addison's disease, and you can get a blood test and test to see your cortisol levels. Adrenal fatigue isn't recognized like like a diagnosis like adrenal insufficiency. So adrenal fatigue, it depends. Like for me, like whenever I have experienced chronic stress, I get migraines, I get insomnia. some people gain weight. Some people have a sense of unease throughout their whole body, or brain fog. You can't focus. You can't do all the things that you want to do and you need to get done. And you're trying to do them, but you can't get them done because you're in this chronic stress state.
Okay. I love it. So when people come to you, like, what are the first steps that you take them? What's the process to start to get someone out of that chronic stress so that they can have more joy and health and all of those wonderful things?
It absolutely depends per person where they are and what they can handle. Because you never want to overlook, like the whole point is to decrease stress, not overload you with a bunch of too many goals and then you feel more stressed. But when they come to me, they fill out an initial intake form, and I have an hour and a half where I speak to them, just going over their initial intake form, getting to know them, understanding what their symptoms are, understanding, if they bring me lab work, I'll look at lab work. I'll look at the medications that they're taking to see what side effects those could be having or what nutrients those could be depleting. And after they fill my intake form is rather long,
Yeah.
but it covers a lot of things that are so helpful for me to know. And then I have that hour and a half initial contact, initial session with them. And then from there, I research, I see I create goals with them so that they can have an investment in that goal and they feel like they're part of that decision making. And it's got to fit into their lifestyle. So then from there, I have like the follow-up visit, and then depending on how many times or how much accountability that they need, I can meet them once a week, I can meet them every other week. I can bring in yoga therapy.
Nice. So for most people, I'm assuming there's a broad range, right? I know there's like no most, but so someone comes in with, like, let's say moderate stress, how quickly will they start to see some change, or like how long does it take to really recover from chronic stress in an average person? That's
That's a hard question to answer.
Sorry. Average. Okay, what's the range? Like, what does it look like for different varying people?
Well, I mean, on a personal level, like whenever I have, if I just bring in a breathing exercise, I can bring it down like right away.
Yeah.
So it depends on, they need to do this, what I'm saying, use those tools to bring it to, like, so at the moment that they have chronic stress, if I teach them a breathing exercise and in that moment they could just step away for 5 minutes, then they could feel like an immediate decrease of stress at that time.
Yeah, I love it. So if you could give some tips to the audience, where there are a couple of things that you could tell them if they feel like they're in chronic fatigue, or they're in that place, what are some tools that you would recommend that they could do at home?
Well, nutrients are hugely important. Getting all your B vitamins, C, your antioxidants. So on the nutrition side of it, I would say eat the rainbow. Every day, eat different colors of vegetables and fruits, and eat whole grains, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, good proteins like fish, lean meats. So you want, the more colors of veggies and fruits you get, the more vitamins and minerals you're getting. And the B vitamins are so important to supporting the adrenals, decreasing cortisol levels, and supporting sleep, that sort of thing. I use adaptogens like ashwagandha. That's another, like a nice soothing tea you can have at night that helps to support stress. There's cortisol modulators like fish oil and alpha lipoic acid, which is an antioxidant. Various botanicals help with sleep and anxiety, like passion flower and lemon balm, chamomile, things like that. Along with breathing exercises, gentle yoga nidra, or gentle movements, gentle yoga, or any exercise if they're not into yoga, are all. And then depending on the person, maybe that person is beneficial with journaling and writing out, at night that they need a journal or something, and that's how they release, or they need to be in nature a certain amount of, include that in their week, a certain amount. What for that individual person, what is it that helps you calm down, helps you decrease that stress?
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you. So if the viewers want to get in contact with you, tell us a little bit about what you offer and then how they would get in touch with you.
Sure. So my business is Illume, ILLUME Nutrition and Yoga Therapy. So www.illumenutritionandyogatherapy.com. I offer nutrition sessions and yoga sessions, and I'm actually creating a package right now combining the two, kind of to maybe like a 30-day or a 90-day get rid of your stress package, which I'm putting together now. But yeah, so they can get in touch with me on the website and email me. I do free 15-minute initial phone consults.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And viewers, thanks for listening and watching, and definitely reach out to Nicole. She is amazing. If you can't tell, she has a plethora of knowledge, and she would love to help you feel more peaceful.
Yes,
So
I would.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and we'll see the rest of you guys tomorrow.